Hello, Reckoning7 and welcome back to a brand new combat mission. And not only will this be a new scenario, but it's going to be a whole new campaign. So after a vote on my YouTube channel, we did opt for a modern campaign, and then by the nearest of margins, Black Sea picked Cold War and Shock Force to the post with 35% of the vote. So amongst all the Black Sea scenarios available for me, I opted to go for the charge of the Stryker Brigade. And you see them charging across the field in front of us here. The reason for that, I wanted to stick with the NATO forces, because I've been playing around with them recently, or American forces I should say. But that the Stryker is fairly underpowered compared to the Bradley or the Abrams, so I was going to provide a little bit more of a challenge. For the duration of this campaign, we're going to be looking after the 2nd Armoured Cavalry Recon as they attempt to be the tip of the spear in a US counterattack against the Russian forces. Our general operation for the game is going to be to maintain contact with the main force of the Russians and allowed our follow-on forces to provide offensive operations. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at the first scenario of the campaign. Okay, so let's look at the first scenario in the campaign, Always Ready, which is of course the motto of the 2nd Armoured Cavalry Regiment. So we have at our disposal just the scout platoon from the 2nd Armoured Cavalry, and our job is to do some route reconnaissance as the rest of the task force attempts to locate the main force of the Russians. So in addition, we're also being asked to secure 2 bridges across this river here. So our main objectives are going to be to secure Objective Sabre and Objective Spur, which will then keep these bridges open for our follow-on forces. In terms of the general reconnaissance of the area, we have a number of touch objectives, which you can see here with these CP indicators. And finally, we have Objective Knife at the back, which is a refueling station, although that is to be considered very much secondary. To get the job done, we have, as aforementioned, the Scout Platoon, which comes with 3 squads of infantry, and of course their own Stryker vehicles. The squads themselves, fairly obviously lightly armed with M4A1s, and we have some one-shot AT capability, with some additional launchers in the Stryker itself. The Strykers have a bit of a mix. There's 2 that come with the automatic grenade launcher, and then there's, I think it's 2 come with the 50 cal. Oh no, I stand corrected. 3 have the grenade launcher and 1 has a 50 cal in terms of weaponry on the Stryker itself. We then of course have the JTAC team, who's going to be controlling a Raven drone for this, and we have the headquarters unit. In addition to that, the Scout Platoon has got 2 native ATGM vehicles within the organisation, so there's just some tows strapped on top of a Stryker, and they also have 1 Javelin team who was riding with a headquarter unit, but I've pulled him out and stuck him in this Jeep, which is carrying our additional forces, which is 1 Marksman's team, which we've been lent for the mission. In addition, in terms of off-map support, we were supposed to have some 120mm mortars. They are not present. That's a bit of a known bug. I do understand there's a corrected version of the campaign floating around, but as yet I haven't got my hands on it. But we will get some 155mm mortars around the 15-minute mark. Okay, let's talk strategy for the mission. So we do have 1 hour and 20 on the clock, which is a reasonable length of time, especially considering the mobility of, I was going to say modern forces, but our force in particular. And so I'm going to be fairly cautious in this, because I don't have huge amounts of firepower. So right off the back, I'm going to get the drone up in the air and getting him to recce the area around CP 101, which I think is going to be my first objective. I'm going to try and keep my scout platoons relatively close to each other, at least kind of 2 of them in the headquarters, so we can try a little bit of kind of support. In the first instance, I'm just going to try and take a position just along this kind of wood line into these buildings, just on the edge of this urban area, until we get a better idea of where those Russians might be. You can see I've got the orders in already. We'll get up to the street line. And generally, whenever I am taking a stop, I'm going to dismount my team, just so there's some additional eyes on the ground to help us spot targets. I should have mentioned information around the Russians. We've been told there is some of their recon forces in the area using predominantly Tigers, so kind of Jeeps, but there's also some BRDMs we will need to be aware of. So that's probably pretty good news for my Strikers, who are not obviously the most heavily defended nor heavily armoured vehicles, but they can certainly take out a Tiger, and should be able to take out a BRDM as well. The one exception is, have I got this scout team who are just going up to this flanking position and holding a bit of a line early on. I'd like to push them into kind of touch CP 103, and also providing an opportunity to maybe flank some of the forces as we head towards the river. The general tactical briefing said there was 2 kind of defensive lines of Russians on either side of the river, but pretty sketchy information wise. We'll have to see how that develops. Meanwhile, I've got my 2 ATGMs on the left-hand flank, and they're going to take a position in amongst this just little point here to give some reasonable line of sight across this lake. The line of sight in the rest of the map is really short between kind of few ridges and bumps, buildings and trees, which really negates the advantage of an ATGM, which is long range. There's no point launching a missile if you then get spotted and taken out. I'm also going to swing my Jeep over there to begin with, and I'm going to drop off my Sniper Section HQ just as another pair of eyes with a binocular. I will then take my Javelin and my Sniper team and probably head them into town. Long term, I think, or medium term I should say, I would like to maybe get them up in this big central building once we have confirmed that the access way to it is clear. And so that's going to be the plan. So it's generally going to be locate the Russian forces, try and destroy them in detail, and work our way towards objectives Sabre and Spur. So what I plan to do is I suspect it's going to be fairly quiet for the first couple of minutes maybe until I get my recon up and about. So I will put a cut in and I will bring us back then and we'll see what's going on. So we're 3 minutes in and not real sight nor sound of any Russian forces despite our drone operating the area for a couple of minutes. And we've had our, obviously, scouts sat out on the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep pushing slowly forward with my scout teams. I'll bring my HQ team up as well. And again, I don't want to get too aggressive. We've got plenty of time, but maybe we'll work our way towards this central building, see if we can't position ourselves there and do a little bit more scouting. See if we can't locate where this enemy has got to. Meanwhile, I'll probably push my right flank up just so we're maintaining a bit of a line, just to make sure we aren't getting kind of flanked if they do try and push us at any point. I'm also conscious I don't have any eyes in this direction and don't really want to walk these guys into an ambush. But hopefully next time I come back we'll actually have found some Russians. And just as we approach the end of the next minute, we've got 6 seconds left in this one, we got our first spot on a Rusky who's running just in front of this compound here, just on the edge of the river. And he's been spotted by our Stryker kind of sitting in overwatch down this main road. Don't know if he actually takes any shots before he loses sight. He does. Oh, he does fire. Oh! And then we spot a Tiger. Ooh. Okay, that would be quite a nice little target to put a bunch of 50 cal rounds into. And you do have visibility. That would be good. Okay, so they are making a bit of a push in this general direction. Don't know if you guys are going to have line of sight to... Let's get it done. Anywhere down this road. Not massively. They're going to come through. I mean, they might just stop and sit in these houses. But I would quite like to push this scout team up slightly. This door of this building's on this side, so why don't I push them up there? Okay, can we support you with this Stryker? You can come kind of sit actually in this little divot's quite nice. It's a little bit short range actually, because if Ruskies jump into the far side of these buildings, and they can probably put a RPG in my side. Little consequence, although the doors are in a pretty favourable position. Fortunately, the entrance for this this big block is on the far side, which is going to make getting into it slightly more difficult. I'm probably also going to move my JTAC team around a little bit. I don't think they're doing much for me. It's not my JTAC team, but my Raven drone. I think I can push it back forward, seeing it's about to drive into its sight line. You know, I'm going to park this Stryker here just for a turn. I'm going to get you out, stick you in this building. Although it is useful, you don't have a radio. No, I'm going to keep you with the HQ so you can have information spread through our C2. but I will order the mission to move this drone back slightly. Just the mission. We're going to go for an area. We're going to put it back, probably centered on maybe this building now. Maybe not quite that far back. If these gentlemen are going to be advancing. Good. Meanwhile, a bit of pathfinding issues over here, so these guys haven't moved out yet. Get that to stop and we'll get you guys loaded up. Perfect. All my ATGMs are sitting on the side. Nothing spotted thus far. I'm going to have this unit advance just into this tree line. We'll get the troops out. We'll comb through here a little bit. Alright, let's stick around and see what, if anything, our 50 cal can do. If he's driving off though, he might lose sight before he can open up. Not driving off. Nice. Leave that Prentice Flesh Blood to us. And now breaking off the right. That's one thing, I don't really have any troops over on this side of this little urban area. Right. I know we're only 30 seconds in, but let's go back and have a see what the good work did for us in terms of casualties. So they have, I mean, they've chosen a pretty poor place to decide to stop and let the troops out, but I'm not going to complain about that. Guess the gunner goes down pretty early doors. Concentrate on the unit, which is a shame, on the vehicle, sorry. I would like to have hosed up some of these infantrymen. At least there one goes down. Looks like the rest of them get away with it, to be honest. Not as high casualty as one might hope. I'm taking up position just behind this touch objective. That's okay, we can leather that with some of our grenades or our infantry or our 155 when it comes online. But they have got a platoon over here somewhere. Or a squad, I should say. Potentially more, actually, if that's another vehicle. Okay, so I'm probably want to, again, don't want to leave my strikers too exposed because they get flanked by some what do you call it? Infantrymen with some RPGs that can easily get taken out. Now, who has eyes on you? You do. Okay. I don't think there's much you can do about that. That's good to know anyway. You guys don't have any eyes. Okay, cool. I do want to bring this. I'm going to bring this jeep into the center. I'll do all my movements off camera. We have movement. Is that a moving sound contact? Static one. Not sure. Okay. I have to do that one carefully. It's a really terrible place to be caught. Although you fire a bunch of automatic grenades at them, bad things are going to happen. I don't know what kind of vehicle it is. I mean, if it's just another Tiger, I'm not so worried about it. But I think we probably want to, yeah, make good our entry into the tree line and then get our troops out. Beyond facing this direction, there's not much we can do. I mean, if they drive towards us, I just have to take that on the chin. Okay, JTAC team making some spots. Fine and dandy. You guys are just about loaded up, so let's move you into the center. And head into, probably into this position. And we'll see where these Russians end up popping up. You know, we've broke this way, so if there's a chance of trying to work their way through the town, we'll have to be aware of that. I'm okay kind of holding this main path for just now, and hopefully our eyes will spot any more vehicles heading over in this direction. Good. Let's roll... no, let's... I'll position my jeep, and then we'll come back and roll another minute. Alright, let's keep advancing. Let's hit the right button. Making me a little bit nervous. Okay, that might be really good actually. We've just stumbled across a tiger, which is hopefully full of men and is about to get pulverized. Really, you cannot see that thing. You're out your vehicle. I mean, I was warned the Strykers don't have great spotting, but this is a bit ludicrous. I think we're actually taking fire from them. That could be fire from over here. That was really odd. Where did they then go? Hang on, what? Is it a shot from you? Is that what that noise is? Yes. I don't know where that ended up, but there. Okay, no problem. I need to get these men out. The Stryker is vulnerable on its own. Meanwhile, I think some Russians made a bad choice of trying to walk up this main road. Oh, this is not going to go well for them. Yeah. Just taking a stroll and being greeted by some 50 cal. Good, right. I'm happy to let them keep walking into their doom, that's okay. Got a second Stryker unit up now. I'm gonna... this is quite an open position for the Stryker itself. Potentially to get AT at it over in that direction, so probably maybe going to want to bring them around potentially through this gap. Actually might be a good place to come and park themselves, or even just offering a crossfire here actually. Well, you are the grenade variant. Yes you are. Okay. And it's just somewhere where I'm relatively protected. Ideally with my infantry close by in a building, providing that support. Now I think these guys are fairly doomed anyway. Let's move ourselves around. I'm going to get too ambitious. Let's move ourselves around to there. That's going to be terrible pathing. Hang on. And then maybe we get our scout team out to support us. I really want them in this building, but I'm worried that's very close to be unloading. Especially with these guys as well. Do I want to start a building fight? Not really. We'll be okay. Right, get here, quickly get into level 1 there, and then move yourself over to level 2 here. You might end up trading blows with this team. So we just have to watch ourselves, make sure we're not starting to take casualties. Okay, excellent. You guys are being very quiet. Although, did I just see that right? Can you see a jeep? Okay. You are aiming. Unfortunately, it's an empty tiger. Maybe I'll just take what I can get. Meanwhile, our plucky lads over here who can't say anything you to get out. No, I very much want you to face this way. And then we're going to have to try and find out where that blooming vehicle went. Okay. Let's see where the action comes first. Main street getting lit up. That was a loud bang. Oh! And that was a javelin to the face of the tiger. Now these guys are now crossfire between the 50 cal and the grenades. Probably a little bit overkill. But that's good. Oh, now these guys are copping as well. Beautiful. That could be pretty dangerous though, if that looks more like a BRDM. Right, but let's so I believe it was you. Ah, the loud noise was the launch of the javelin. Oh no, the first one hit a tree, okay. Not javelin, sorry, ATGM. There you go, top shot. One less jeep. Again, only 2 people in it, but it's a start. Well, this squad's getting decimated. And they're very shortly going to run to the visual range of these guys, which is absolutely fine. And then that second infantry squad we've seen is over this direction. Accidentally grenading a church there. Apologies. Okay. I'm not even sure what you're shooting at. But apparently there was one poor Russian. Yeah, he's he ain't coming back. Now over here, it looks like that that vehicle has moved on, so we might have a chance to get in behind it. Give you guys a hunt order, even though you are absolutely, apparently functionally blind around to here. I'm going to have my unit hunt through this tree line. We'll see if we come up behind anyone. Otherwise we've got to watch about him appearing on our flank. I probably want to reposition my ATGM now that he's fired a shot. Just in case I don't know what the enemy has got, so let's pull you back. Maybe we'll bring you round. Where should we park you? Park you in amongst here for a few moments. I think that's okay. We'll do that. Okay, so far so good. No casualties taken, a few inflicted. Fairly slow progress, but I'm okay with that. Lots of time on the clock. Let's not rush ourselves. This should hopefully be the end of this HQ team. Oh. Please don't kill my own guys. Oh, for God's sake. Are you absolutely kidding me? Why would you think that's a good idea? I'm not very happy about that. Okay, meanwhile, things going in better in our direction is over here. We did come up behind that vehicle. Has got some people in it, but certainly doesn't look full. It's got a couple of people in the passenger seat there. A few less people in the passenger seat now. I'm amazed this gunner hasn't died. Oh, there he goes. Okay, good. There may be one over here. Looks like that spot is just historic. Doesn't look like it's real, but that's fine. Oh, I'm so upset we took casualty there. That kills me. That was completely unnecessary by our own blooming vehicles. Right, you chaps pull out. You absolutely can actually. Haha. I know you're in buddy aid, but we're gonna have to leave him for a little bit, okay? And then we'll go back. Pause for maybe 15 seconds. Should be enough time to go out, and then we'll hammer that building again. No more confirmation on what that might be, despite UAV operating in the area. Okay, well, this is all going fairly well. Repositioned over here, or repositioning over here. That's fine, and you guys are coming in. Perfect. I'll have you advance slightly, and yeah, I want you guys to keep up. I'll just give you a hunt, just paranoid in case there is, for some reason, a soldier here. But I don't think that's the case. There may well be a second vehicle though, so let's be vigilant. Good. Ish. Right, you guys pulling out? Yeah, whoa! That's not a pause. Probably just finishing your previous shots. Okay, this has resolved itself to be a BRDM. So it carries, what's that, 14mm machine gun? Yeah, 14.5mm machine gun. So maybe not too much of a threat for our strikers, actually. Something we're going to deal with. I wonder if they're in range for our 84s, actually. I don't know what their operational range is. It's something I should probably have looked up. I can do that now. Oh, I guess we are, because that was a shot and a miss. And they've used them both. Okay, I'm going to have to pull out there because they're going to start taking casualties. Okay, things have happened. Looks like we've destroyed that Tiger. But we've got a whole bunch of Russian infantry on our flank. Although they are copying it from this guy, which is nice to see. And there's a casualty in that squad. To be expected, facing off against BRDM. Okay. Yeah, they need to come at this building. So did you use both your anti-tank weapons? Let's check that out. I don't know why are you shooting at them with your machine guns? That seems like a dubious decision. I've lost one pixel trooper. Okay, here goes, first man up. Not the easiest shot, there's a tree in the way. And indeed the tree hits him, or saves him. And was that both of them actually? Yeah, you fired as well. Oh, second one just high. Okay, that's slight disappointing, but can't do much about it. And he responds with large machine gun fire, and we take casualties. Can't say I'm that shocked. Meanwhile, whole bunch of infantry get out here. So they have just kind of abandoned the vehicle. And we are inflicting 3 casualties, which is good to see. Question is, how much resources, if any, do I divert to these guys, knowing that they're on my flank? Essentially, I just destroy the vehicle and not worry too much about them. At some point, I'm going to have to enter this building and see if anyone is there. Does not fill me full of joy. So your target. Let's have you maybe just target briefly. Yeah. Hit them for 30 seconds. That's grand. Who can see you? Is it the JTAC? Oh no, it's just for whatever reason you've gone blind. Fine. And that's it. I think I'm just gonna hit them with this grenades, cause whatever damage I can, and then probably just leave them where they are. You back over this direction, and you guys didn't move very far. Interesting. Get you back into your vehicle. We'll head up pushing towards that first touch objective. And I'm going to move forward with my 50 cal. And my HQ team. Oh no, you're about to do that. So let's maybe remember the orders I'm giving people. Not drive in front of them. That does not fill me with confidence. And you guys need to get out of here. So pull back. Just level 1 should be fine because no one will have line of sight. So get down. Maybe we can bring our javelin friend in to deal with him. A little bit more vulnerable, obviously just bombing around in a jeep. Let's get ourselves into this position and then we should go from there. Just watch out for there was elements of a Russian squad kicking about over there, so let's not expose ourselves to that. Get into there. Beautiful. A little bit more chaotic than I had first envisaged it to be. Are you reloading? You are reloading. You haven't moved off yet, which is good. That was foolish on my part. Thought they might be suppressed or dead. Man, you had the spot. Why didn't you shoot him? You did. Yeah, but still, trade for one is not the odds you want to play at. That's disappointing. Now, at least in this campaign, you do get some reinforcements for your platoons, etc. So it's not the end of the world. But still, early days, I don't really want to take these kind of casualties. Looks like an RPG. And there's another one. Oh, and there's a lot of casualties. You guys just not pulling out in time. I had asked you... Get out of the building, please. Ah, to be fair, you had gone down to the ground floor. And then started picking a fight with the guys in that building. So I really want this. I want to bring in my physical or my automated grenade launchers. Because RPGs hurt. Okay. And we've got some artillery on board. Excellent. What kind of... How much ammo do we have? Artillerymen? 180 rounds, plus some precision and some phosphorus. Cool. We're absolutely going to be using that. Probably not on these guys, though. I think the plan is going to be to swing my Stryker into this position and then just leather this building with grenades. Then I'll bring the spotter and the javelin into the complex as well. Over here, I think presumably we're just going to hang around and shoot these guys for another turn. That should render them fairly combat ineffective. There's a reasonable number of dead bodies over here. Okay, where's one? But there'll be more we can't see. But that's where we're going to have to leave things for now. So a reasonable start. I'm not really happy at having taken, 2 half-strength squads already. That's not ideal, considering I only have 3 squads and I haven't got either of my objectives yet. But we'll see where we get on. As ever, to leave your thoughts, comments, etc. down below. Always love to hear them. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheerio.